Okay, so tonight we're going to read The Dog from Dingle Who Lost His Bark. It was sent to us straight from Ireland, from Auntie the Great and Great Uncle Tim. They sent it to us from vacation, right? They saw this and they thought of you. So,
and the dogs in the background?
Oh, they're very excited.
Oh.
They're very excited to listen to this book, and so is Mr. Pooh.
Oh, whew. The Dude Pooh.
The Dude Pooh, yeah.
And Zelda Jade has beautiful doggies.
Are you wearing doggy jammies?
Oh, woof, woof, woof.
Woof, woof. Okay, so let's get started. Ready? There was once a dingle dog who lived by the sea. His life was fun. He was happy as can be. He liked to bark all day, and he loved to bark all night. He was a jolly little dog who barked with all his might. But one fine day, when he was playing in the sun, a great big storm came and ruined all his fun. He ran up the beach and raced across the sand. He was the most scared dog in all the land.
Oh, no.
The very next morning, when the storm had gone, the dingle dog realized that something was wrong. The storm had stopped blowing and the sun was overhead, so he tried to bark but only whimpered instead. He thought about the rain and how the night was dark, and he realized he was so scared he lost his bark. He needed to find his bark. Where could it be? He thought that to start, he'd look down by the sea. Down at the water, he heard a moaning song. He thought it was his bark, but he was wrong. It was just a big whale playing in the kelp. So he called out to the whale, maybe she could help. Yeah. Excuse me, Mrs. Whale, he said. I've lost my bark. I lost it during the storm last night when it was dark. I really have to find it. Where could it be? Oh, Mrs. Whale, could you please help me? Yeah. Why, yes, Dingle Dog, sang the whale in her song. I heard it in the night, but I could be wrong. There, near those rocks, I heard such a strange sound. Go over there, my dear little hound. Oh, thank you, said the Dingle Dog to the great big whale, and across the beach he ran, wagging his little tail. Yeah. Over by the rocks he heard a clicking sound. So he stopped in his tracks and he looked all around. There was a tiny red crab clicking his claws by a boulder, so the little dog went over and tapped his tiny shoulder. Excuse me, Mr. Crab, he said, I have lost my bark. I lost it during the storm last night when it was dark. I really have to find it. Where could it be? Oh, Mr. Crab, can you please help me? Why, yes, Dingle Dog, said the crab, clicking his claws. I heard it last night. I didn't know it was yours. There, on those cliffs, I heard such a hullabaloo. I hope you find your bark. I really, really do. Oh, thank you, said the Dingle Dog. Thanks a lot. And he ran across the sand and began to trot. Over by the cliffs, he heard a screeching squawking. He thought it was his bark, so he instantly stopped walking. He saw a white seagull sitting high up on her nest, so he shouted to the seagull his simple request. Excuse me, Mrs. Seagull, he said. I've lost my bark. I lost it during the storm last night when it was dark. I really have to find it. Where could it be? Oh, Mrs. Seagull, can you please help me? Why, yes, Dingle Dog, said the screechy, squawky bird. In the storm last night, that must have been what I heard. There, in that cave, I heard such a commotion. I wondered what it was. I thought it was the ocean. Oh, thanks, said the dog with a goodbye wave, and off he walked into the big, dark cave.
Ooh.
Deep inside the cave, there was a loud, echoing roar. He thought he may have found his bark, but he was not sure. Instead, he found a wise walrus who was wrinkled and old, so he asked about his bark, and this is what he was told. Why, no, Dingle Doggy, I have not seen your bark. I expect you think you lost it last night when it was dark. I know all about the storm that passed by in the night, and I know the wind and waves must have given you quite a fright. But you see, Dingle Dog, you are positively wrong. Your bark is still inside you. It's been there all along. Summon all your courage. Search deep inside your heart. There you will find it, and never part. Oh, thank you, wise walrus, said the Dingle Dog with a yelp. I don't know what I could have done without your thoughtful help. The Dingle Dog thought about what the walrus had said and summoned all his courage and lifted up his head. He thought about the storm and that passed by in the night, and he wanted to bark again with all his might. So he ran out of the cave with the sun overhead, and he started to whimper, but then he barked instead.
Woof!
Woof, woof, woof.
Woof! Woof!
Woof. Yeah. He barked at Mrs. Seagull, and she squawked back from the sky. He barked at Mr. Crab, who clicked his claws in reply. He barked at Mrs. Whale, who sang back from the kelp. He barked and he barked to thank them for all their help. The Dingle Dog continued to live by the sea. His life was fun, and he was as happy as can be. He barked in the water, and he barked on the sand. He was the noisiest dog in all the land. Oh, we know some noisy puppies, don't we? Don't we? Oh, whoa.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Woof, 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 woof.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
You say thank you and I love you. Say mwah.
Say bye-bye.
Mwah.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye. Yeah.
There you go. Yay!
Mwah. Love you.
Yeah.